and welcome to a special edition. It's Island Stat Sports Talk. I'm here with Gavin, Manders, and Tariq Simons. Gentlemen, the recently concluded Craig Bean Memorial Tennis Tournament came to an end at the Fairmont, Southampton. Gavin, as a tournament organizer, obviously you've had great success of having so many people take part. Interesting times because you got creative once again with players and divisions, but putting it together, another challenge for you?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. I mean, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of energy to be able to create that environment. That's kind of the tricky part about the scheduling. You know, it's one thing to have numbers, it's another to know how to schedule to get, the people there at the right time and families playing at the same time, so they don't have to be traveling all around. That's how we don't have to be coming back and forth. But no, man, it was a beautiful week. A lot of work, but if you want to be successful and you want to have big events, you have to put in the time and you have to put in the energy, and it all paid off. A beautiful week for a beautiful person, and another notch on the belt for MTM. I scheduled 200 matches in that week, which is just new waters, new territories, even for myself. But thanks to everyone that helps put it together, the MTM team, the MTM family, and everyone who came out. It was another successful week.
When you look at how you guys were able to have the games that were just the one set for kind of beginners and people that are just getting back into the sport of tennis, I think they kind of enjoyed it because I watched a lot of them play, and they kind of enjoyed the fact that they weren't going to be on the court for very long, but they had the opportunity, if they played well enough, they would win that match. What was the response from those players in those divisions?
When's the next one? That was the feedback. I mean, I'm just learning and looking at other sports and things that they do to make it more exciting. And you look at cricket, and I always use this analogy with what we've done with that division. You look at T20 and what's that done for cricket. Bringing a set and no ad scoring is fast. It's exciting. It's not drawn out if you lose. It's not drawn out if you win. You get a lot of matches. There's more excitement for the spectators. And that division is our baby. I mean, it's my baby personally. 57 entries in a C division is just phenomenal. And they're all hungry to play more tennis, because at the end of the day, we always say, MTM is about growing the sport. It's about the Bermuda tennis community coming together to push physical activity and positive vibes, and we're just using tennis as that vehicle. So for that division, cricketers, footballers, insurance, everyone, and they had a blast. So it's just about learning and seeing what would be exciting for those that aren't regular tennis players, and how do we get them to want to see tennis as a viable option.
Yeah. Tariq, for you, it was a tough week. You had some tough matches getting to that final and winning it, but also you're still doing lessons during the day and all that. So how do you stay focused when it comes time to playing outside of what you're doing as far as giving those lessons?
I've built routines in place over a few years, and I've kept the ones that have worked well for me to prepare before matches. They can start between an hour and 2 hours before, between my music, between my warm-up, setting up the warm-up, what I eat, and when I eat it. But as far as camp goes, I just have to prepare myself in a way that I'll have as much energy as I need at the time that I need it. So I learned at MTM to be very specific with it and pay attention to the details, because something like that could be the difference between having the energy for a third set and not. And that could be pretty crucial, especially in a tournament like this one where my one spot was on the line. And I wouldn't want to lose something so important to me for something so little.
Yeah. Take us through that Tuesday. I believe it was last Tuesday where you played Daniel Phillips. Obviously, a lot of people have built that particular match up, being that Daniel's been abroad playing well, you've been here playing well, and you've traveled overseas, played well as well, and people want to see some good quality tennis. Not saying that they haven't seen it, but an opportunity to see two young guys go at it. Take us through your day before the match, in preparation for that particular one?
The day before I do what I always do, I create game plans. I kind of imagine points in the match in ways that I would come out on top and Daniel would come out on top. And I try to give myself the best chance possible. So the game plan is really important. But he's a young guy. He's done really well in Europe tennis, having won that Rafa Nadal Academy tournament in the series. And for someone like me, where Rafa's my favorite tennis player, it's slightly intimidating when you hear about it on the news all the time, but it's something that as athletes we have to deal with in competition. But it was an exciting match. I think we both enjoyed it. We both had fun, dealt with the pressure. I came out on top of this one, but I do look forward to playing him again. And especially since he's so young. He's only 15, I think. And we're bound to play a lot more matches in the future. So I'll just keep my head up and struggle along and wait for that next opportunity to come.
Yeah, you guys, I mean, that battle was something to watch. Looking at that first set was quite draining. I know Gavin and your team and the spectators were watching it intensely because it looked like, and it was, in fact, a marathon night, wasn't it?
It was. The scoreline wouldn't say so as much, only because it went to 2 sets instead of 3. But both of the sets were stretched out. The first set, he came back from 5-2, won those last 2 games, and I was able to finish it at 5-4 to make it 6-4 in the first. But it was a tough match. There were a lot of ebbs and flows. Times when he looked like he was struggling, and times that I looked like I was struggling, especially in the crucial moments. But that's how matches are, and if you can't deal with that, then you'll just struggle through places like that. But yeah, I'm glad I came out on top of that one.
Gavin, as a tournament organizer, to see that match and to see the crowd that was there, similar to what was like the Friday night, everybody in anticipation of what they was going to witness. How did you manage to make sure that the crowd stayed calm enough during that match for the 2 players to be able to express themselves on the court?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty easy. I mean, because for us, we like to have Davis Cup atmospheres, college tennis atmospheres. So that's also what's helping us create the energy around these events that people, you don't have to be quiet other than when they're playing. So outside of that, you can make as much noise as you want for whoever you want. That's how it is at Davis Cup. I mean, there's drum lines, there's all sorts of stuff that you have to get used to. So it's just the managing a touch of making sure it's not during a time that they're playing, but everyone follows that for the most part. So that's not really a big one. It's just more of managing COVID guidelines and making sure that we keep all of that in place. We are still in a world pandemic while we're showcasing 2 of our future talents. Well, present and future, really.
Yeah. When you look at yourself getting to yet another final, wasn't an easy way to get there. Both of you kind of had tough matches along the way, but you picked up an injury. And how did that play in your mind going into the final?
It is what it is. It's part of the journey. I had a bad strain, micro tear in the calf. But that happened on the second point of the semis. I thought about packing it in, but this is what I do. This is my passion. I love it. I'm not going to let these guys have anything unless they earn it. I'm with Apex, who really has kept me just relative when it comes to the body and keeping up with these young guys. I mean, I'm almost twice these guys' age that I'm competing against. So for me, it was just getting ready mentally for war. Whatever I was going to have to deal with it, that just is what it is. There's no point in thinking about it. It's like when I tell the kids, it's windy. It's windy, it's windy. Full stop. If I have something that's limited to me, it is what it is. We're going to play through it. Our goal is to do what we can to try to win that match without ripping it apart and put on a show and not let my student earn something without, get something without earning it. So I did it for Craig. I didn't really do it for myself. Looking at 68 weeks from that Wednesday night, and I played 48 hours later. This is just what I do, man. So at the end of the day, it was just better on the day. It doesn't matter what if I was nicked up. That's part of the journey. I am older, so these are things that I have to deal with. And people have played through worse. So I'm just out here doing what I love. And, to do it for a special person like Craig and have a crowd like we had on the Friday night, and then have our top MTM student, Tariq, solidify his one spot. Whether it's a loss, it's still a win.
Yeah. Tariq, you knew going into the final that Gavin had another injury. I think it's the second time you guys have played in the final that he's been laboring of sorts. But you just try to stick to your game plan and don't worry about what his ailments are. Is that how you get through?
Well, that was a part of it, but also in my game plan, I considered what he might be feeling due to his injury, but I couldn't let it affect me mentally. The last time we played, I gave up a few extra games, and we talked about it. And the fact that an injured person is like a wounded warrior in a fight, and I have to deal with it the same way. All the things that I would be doing as if he were healthy, he's going to be slightly slower on the day. So I tried to keep that in mind. I did switch it up just a little bit to accommodate for different conditions, but I think I did well. It was 4-4, which, I mean, it was only one break. It was a tough match regardless of what the score looks like. But I think I did pretty well in dealing with the fact that he was injured. And it's the third time that we've been doing this. The first time he had bronchitis. The second time was his ankle. And this time his calf. So I think we're both getting used to playing each other like this. As unfortunate as it is, it was a good match. I think we both enjoyed it.
Yeah. The last time you guys faced off against each other, was the BLTA Cup Match Classic at the Bermuda Tennis Stadium, and I see Gavin grinning because he was what I would say tournament, not having to worry about putting together a tournament, just being able to relax and play. I think it was a little different for Gavin in that. And then Tariq, he beat you. So did you have that a little bit in the back of your mind that, hey, this guy isn't quite over yet, and if he's healthy, then he could actually do a good job on the day?
Yeah, of course. I already knew that. Just the fact that he beat me on that day meant I had a lot of work to do still. I've obviously, Trey beat me as well in the last tournament, but this isn't my ultimate goal. I'm still trying to go pro. I'm still trying to play big tennis in big places with big crowds and for a lot will be on the line. But I still have a long way to go, and I have to keep that in mind. Even though I'm number one in Bermuda right now, I still have many paths to travel and a lot of places to go. So no, it doesn't really affect me that he beat me that day. Just means I have a little bit more on the workload.
Gavin, for MTM, you have quite a bit of players, both on the men's and the ladies side, that are doing remarkably well. When you look at the work that people done ahead of you to help you get to where you are, is it just something you feel as if I need to carry this on using the wisdom that you got from your elders, and now you're the elder actually helping these youngsters?
Yeah, I mean, Sam Mabry has always taught me, to always give back. Is the one that brought me back to tennis. Obviously, we're also working off of a lot of the pros that have done it in the past, a lot of the clubs that were creating players and pathways. But me specifically, in my latter years, with Mabry as a mentor, he's always taught me to the grassroots torch as well, just trying to push forward and do what we can to grow the sport in the best way possible, and understanding, the climate in Bermuda, the climate in these times. So for me, it's just a blessing to be able to do what I love to do and to carry on things that others have done and add just the newer flavor to it, which is allowing us to get these numbers. So I'm blessed and thankful for everyone who's put in the work before me. And now it's for me to push forward as much as possible and take Bermuda tennis and grow it. It's not just at the highest level, Like I said, the green ball had 57 players in it. I mean, that's just remarkable. So for me personally, just honored and feel blessed to be able to do what I love and share my passion. My mom always told me, share your passion with everyone. Do what you can to make a difference. Use your gift. And that's what I'm doing. So, I mean, it's a shout out also to everyone else that's doing works like this. It's not just me. I'm not going to start naming names, but people that are doing the works in the community and with tennis. This is a congratulations to them too, because this type of event can't happen if Bermuda Tennis isn't moving in the correct direction. We just happen to be one of the people that have our hand on the heartbeat and have a passion for it and are doing well.
It was a good tournament for you, family wise, as your man was able to capture a division title, using his I would say cricket skills.
Yeah.
He was able to do the simple things as he normally does in any sport that he does. But watching him play, how exciting was that for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's just special. I mean, it's a special week for me. I have Sage Manders, newborn baby girl. We were honoring Craig. My dad was playing. He hasn't played tennis since I beat him when I was 12 years old. He says it's 14, but it definitely was 12. And then you got Trey and Jacon who had a battle. Tanisha made it to the semifinals of the Orange Bowl. So to get family out as well just makes it more special. But it was just a really special week for me. I mean, obviously I wanted to win. That's why I played through the injury. But like this week was one of the better weeks of my life. If you add all of that, you mentioned like my dad playing in it, what that means, my family playing in it, my student beating me in the final. We're doing it for somebody who I looked up to when I was younger. And the energy of the week really embodied what Craig was on the court. Like, honestly, the energy and the charisma and like the stuff that went on in the week was kind of how he played tennis. So you add all that together holistically. I mean, just a beautiful week. Grassroots Green Bowl, Orange Bowl, 7-year-old playing Andrew Bascom's wife in the semifinals. I mean, you can't write this type of stuff. So just a special week, and a big thank you to you for the coverage that you always bring, and everyone who was a part of it. And obviously, congratulations to Tariq, who solidified his spot at the top. I mean, you got to show up every time and you got to play every time if you want to be at the top. There's no rest for you. There's no rest off the pressure. So he handled it and he got through, because I still came at him no matter whether I was slightly wounded or not. I was ready to go.
Yeah. Tariq, for you, obviously we know what times we're in as far as pandemic and all, but have you kind of seen what's on the horizon as far as international for you, maybe in the Caribbean, maybe in Europe, maybe in the States?
I have. It'll very likely be in the States, especially because I'm going to college there. Well, very likely going to college there at the University of St. Catherine, San Marcos. But as soon as this pandemic's over and I can go back I can go to school, which is very likely in January, and I look forward to playing as much tennis as possible, both tournaments, training, college conferences. But as far as what's on the horizon, as soon as this pandemic's over, which if it is January, then I will be in college in January.
All right. Well, gentlemen, I do want to thank you very much for your time. Gavin, we look forward to the next MTM event. And Tariq, you stay healthy and safe. And I look forward to the next battle with you two, with Daniel, with Trey, with all the guys that are knocking on that door. Even the young man that Gavin you defeated in the semifinal.
Yep,
yeah,
Scott.
Scott. I mean, they're all knocking on the door to actually show what they're worth, show their caliber. And I think right now with this pandemic and everybody on island, I think we've gotten a chance to see some outstanding tennis from our future, present and future.
Yeah, no, it's been beautiful, and we appreciate you as well. We need to make sure that we get these positive messages out. There's a lot of stressful times. We want to make sure that we use tennis as a vehicle to bring positivity and health and wellness to Bermuda, not just the people who normally play tennis, anyone. And the hunger that's coming about because of this tennis during this time is really creating some positive vibes, and we appreciate the coverage.
All right. Well, gentlemen, do stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your day. Okay?
Appreciate it.
All right. Good seeing you.
Yep.